So, okay, what is a dominant strategy? So I think some of you already heard the words dominant strategy somewhere else. So let's look at this example of figure 12.1. Again, simultaneous game between two players, Barkley and Allied, right? So each player can take action of either spend at current level or increase spending. So each player can choose either of these two at the same time. And you know how to read this metrics and their outcome payoff for each player when each action is chosen at the same time, right? But then dominant strategy, if you look at the slide previously, is a strategy for the player that generates the greatest payoff or payout compared to other available strategy to that player, no matter what other opponents are doing, right? So for example, look at Barkley. So he has an action which is spending at current level. So that's the name of the strategy, as is available only one time. So spend at current level, the strategy generate payoff for Barkley 3 or 2, right? Depending on opponent's strategy. So if Barkley decide to look at the strategy of taking action spend at current level, that can generate 3 or 2, but it can be 3 when ally take action of spending at current level, or it can be 2 if the ally increase spending, right? So spending at current level for Barkley can generate either 3 or 2, depending on opponent's action. But then his other strategy, which is taking action of increasing spending, can generate 4 or 3, depending on allied strategy, right? So if you compare 3 and 2 versus 4 and 3, then increasing spending, that strategy, generate 4, which is greater than 3, if ally take action of spending at current level, or 3 versus 2, 3 is greater than 2 when ally take action of increasing spending. So 4 is greater than 3, 3 is greater than 2. So these increasing spending generate greater payoff compared to other strategy, no matter what opponent does, right? If opponent does spend at current level, still increasing spending for Barkley generate 4, which is greater than other strategy payoff 3, right? Even if allies change the strategy to increasing spending, even ally does other strategy, again, Barkley's increasing spending generate 3 compared to other strategies that generate only 2. So we can conclude for Barkley, increasing spending is a dominant strategy as the payoff 4 and 3 is greater than all the other strategies available, right? No matter what opponent does. So you can easily compare the vector 4, 3 compared to 3, 2. So we can conclude Barkley's strategy increasing spending is dominant strategy. What about opponents, the other player, allied? For allied, if you look at spend at current level, the blue ink, that's the payoff for allied. The spending at current level, that's action or strategy, generate 4 and 3. So you have to read column vector for allied. Spending at current level can generate for allied 4 or 3. Depending on Barkley's strategy, right? 4 will be the payoff for allied if opponent does spending at current level, or 3 will be the payoff for allied if opponent Barkley does increase spending. But then allies, another strategy of taking action increasing spending can generate 3 or 2, which also depends on opponent's strategy. Spending at current level generate 3. If opponent does increasing spending, allied increasing spending can generate 2, right? So again, the payoff for allied can change. Payoff for allied from taking one strategy, the payoff can change depending on opponent's strategy, right? 3 or 2 compared to 4 or 3. So if you look at here, the strategy of taking spend at current level generate 4 or 3, while increased spending generate 3 or 2. So you can see 4 is greater than 3, 3 is greater than 2. So this vector, element of this vector is always greater than the other vector of these two elements, right? Element-wise. So you can conclude that for Allied, spend their card level is a dominant strategy as it generates greatest payoff for 3 compared to all the other available strategy, in this case only 3 and 2, no matter what opponent Barkley does. So that's the dominant strategy concept. We can go over another example.